Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of March 2026. I am your host, AMPLIA. It's good to be with you all for another day. And I'm joined in the studio by the lovely, extra lovely today, Renessa Ortiz. Good morning, Renessa.
AMPLIA, I wonder what's extra lovely about me today. Good morning to our viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Tobago Updates morning show. It's always a pleasure being on the screen in front of you, bringing to you the conversations. AMPLIA, there's so much going on in this space right now.
Yes, a lot of drama in the space right now. We saw yesterday this story with the TSTT executives coming to the forefront. And also we saw that drama with the
licensing officers and the taxi driver.
And the taxi driver in Trinidad. Some frustrations boiling over there. Hopefully they could get it sorted out. We know that a lot of persons are frustrated with the whole economic situation and the increase in fines and that kind of thing. And I mean, from all conversations I've been seeing online, persons who know the guy says that he's usually a very calm person, very law-abiding person. So he probably has some serious frustrations that
for you to get to that point.
To the forefront for him to really get to that point and act in that way. Hopefully they can get it sorted and not arrest him, not charge him, but we know he's going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, and I think especially from looking at the video as well, I remember one of his utterances was, let's meet by the licensing office. And I think the fact that his keys were removed from his vehicle. And I also remember him saying, you're leaving my taxi unsecured, because that's probably his livelihood.
Yes.
And having that unsecured means that's going to put him in a next set of debts that he isn't prepared for.
Yeah.
So the frustration, could understand it, but on the flip side of that, there would be consequences.
Yeah, we know that the whole situation also brought back up the issue of licensing officers maybe abusing their powers. You know, a lot of accusations of abuse of power is levied against licensing officers on a regular, and that those accusations have raised their head once again. To tell you the truth, I don't know what are the legal powers of the licensing officers, if they could have seized his keys, if it was the right thing to do to leave his vehicle unsecured. But the conversation has raised its head once again about licensing officers and how far they take their powers, and sometimes whether they abuse them or not.
But I would also like to commend those in the vicinity at the time who were encouraging the young man to really think about what he was doing. I know there was a vehicle that was passing as well who stopped and told him, calm down, you get yourself in trouble. There was also an older lady who was on the side as well. I remember him also calling her mums, telling him to calm down and cool himself. So it's really good to see that as a community still here in Trinidad and Tobago, we still try to look out for one another.
Yes. Yeah, so we have the society is tending to get a little bit tense, things getting a little bit tense in the society, as well as this new state of emergency, and it's even having impacts in Tobago, and we're going to have some conversations concerning that. But before viewers we get into any of those conversations, we want to head over to our news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, AMPLIA. A broken promise for Tobago's nurses. A local scholar returns from the front lines, and TSTT hits back at misleading spending claims. Your news in 90 seconds starts now for Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. Outrage is spilling over within the TRHA. Nurses have been called in to sign 3-year contracts yesterday, despite being promised permanent employment last November 23rd and December 9th. Health Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner addressed the matter at the recent media briefing, but medical personnel are now labeling the 2025 pre-election promise as a mere election ploy ahead of the January 12th THA polls. The Division of Health Secretary maintains it is following established HR protocols, but the fallout is threatening to destabilize the island's nursing fraternity. From a war zone to a hero's welcome, 19-year-old Raylon Taylor is back in Tobago tonight after being stranded in Abu Dhabi during the height of the Middle East conflict. Following drone strikes on Zayed International Airport, Taylor's flight home was grounded for over a week. Thanks to intervention by the THA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Mason Hall native is safely home, ending an agonizing wait for his family and the Tobago public. Finally, TSTT is threatening legal action over a report alleging a $400,000 executive retreat in Tobago. The company calls the figures grossly inaccurate, claiming the actual cost was 60% lower. While the Communications Workers Union is demanding transparency, TSTT insists the local retreat actually saved foreign exchange by avoiding overseas consultants. That was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast.
Thank you very much, Vanessa, for that news in 90 seconds. And we see TSTT responding, saying that, the news report was inaccurate. So hopefully the TSTT could put out some information to back up those claims that the report is inaccurate.
And sometimes when we put out these reports to refute claims, sometimes you end up in a bit more hot water. So we are really hoping that as time goes by and the investigation goes on, the truth really comes to the forefront.
Yes, indeed. All right, viewers, we have to move on. It's time to celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, and here at Tobago Updates, we like to celebrate with you whatever you're celebrating. And we want to kick off today's celebrations by saying happy birthday to Miss Kashka Hislop. Yes, Miss Kashka Hislop, she's a BHS alumni, and she was in the great Reed House. The very best of Bishop's High School Reed House. And we want to wish you a happy birthday, Miss Hislop. You are proud Reedian, and I like that about you. May God's richest blessings be upon you on this day, and you grow from strength to strength, and you show them that resplendent red of Reed.
Akilaba is always very entertaining to listen to Bishopians talk about their rivalry with these houses. Very, very entertaining. Up next, we have Lois James. Happy birthday to you. You look very splendid, very vibrant and radiant here in your picture. And I know today would be just as is, and I hope that going forward in this new year, God continues to shower you with all of his blessings upon your life.
And finally, we say happy birthday to Elton Richardson Jr. Happy birthday from the entire Richardson clan. Love and God's blessings to you. And viewers, whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, a graduation, whatever you're celebrating, send your information to Tobago Updates, and Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean region, and the wider world will celebrate with you. So, Vanessa, who do we have on the program this morning?
This morning, we have Reginald McLean. He's president of the THTA. We are talking about the effects of the SOE on Tobago's tourism product. I know that's something that has been in the space for a while, especially given the recent reinstallation of the SOE across the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And last, but certainly not least, we have ASP Bacchus and WPC Charles of the TTPS, and they're here to talk about the 5K Glow Hype Run.
All right, thank you very much, Vanessa. Viewers, we want to thank you for staying with us. You are with us on our Facebook Live or YouTube channel, 102 on AMPLIA, 121 or 130 on Flow, and 33 on Digicel. Whether you're in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, or the wider world, we want to thank you for making Tobago Updates Tobago's #1 television station. And we ask you to do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way. Some bunny's getting a great rate today. Looking for a rate that's bright and sunny? Hop on down for some Easter money. 1% interest through and through, because we see you at BCU. Apply for a 1% Easter loan and let's hatch something great together. Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. On screen we are seeing a live shot of the Wilson Road traffic light. We are seeing traffic moving from east to west and west to east in a smooth flow. It is 7:13 a.m. It is still early for you to get on the road and to get on time for work and to drop your loved ones off, whether to school, to work, and where they are heading this morning. Leaving Scarborough going to the Plymouth Road, we're seeing a little bit of a pileup of traffic waiting to head onto the Plymouth Road, and on the Plymouth Road heading into Scarborough or along the Claude Noel Highway, we're also seeing a buildup of traffic there in the meantime, but not too much. But it's still your opportunity to get out and on the road and to be on time for work. And that was your traffic report here at Tobago Updates this morning. Viewers, welcome back. We have joining us virtually this morning is Reginald McLean. He's the president of THTA, and we're talking about the effects of the SOE on Tobago's tourism product. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. McLean.
Good morning to the viewers, and thank you for having me on your show.
Now, Mr. McLean, we're going to dive right into the conversation. Tobago's tourism sector was already navigating a challenging winter season. How has the declaration of the state of emergency affected the industry so far since its reinstallation?
Well, it's already slowed down bookings, and I'll tell you why that has happened. It would have been better for the SOE not to have ended and restarted. So people, because it has ended and restarted, people are now asking questions, what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago? So that actually has created some negativity for us, because we were getting to the point where people were traveling, even with the SOE. But now that we've had to stop and start, the questions have been asked again.
Now, from the conversations you're having with hotels and tourism operators, are you already seeing hesitation from visitors to come into the island?
There's a definite slowdown in the bookings. For example, we were getting 10, 12 bookings a day. That's gone down to 1 or 2 a day now. I guess when people get used to having the SOE again, you will see a little uptick in that. But the winter season is our busy season, and that's where you make your money to keep you going throughout the rest of the year when you have this slowdown in the off-peak months. So yes, there's definitely a slowdown in bookings. If you talk to people on the street, they'll tell you they have no idea that we even have a SOE, because Tobago is very safe. But you know, the government has to do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, I think they all know who the criminals are and all that. So they need to start dealing with that decisively. We have anti-gang legislation. Let us use it this time and try and get the crime under control.
Now, in your previous statement to me, you mentioned that hoteliers are experiencing less bookings than they usually have, which means that the income that they would usually generate to pay staff would also probably significantly decrease as well. Have you seen anyone making any conversations about laying off staff presently?
Well, I haven't heard anyone laying off staff, but I know that there are some that are having a little problems in paying their bills, whether it's staff and their bills, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, if you can't make the money you need to run the year through your high season, it's going to be difficult for the rest of the season. Now, after April, when things slow down, when the rest of the world starts to get a little warmer and the snowbirds aren't flying away from the snow, Tobago slows down in May, June, and then you have the local Trinbagonians that travel to Tobago, whether it's here on island or from Trinidad, and they pick up the slack in July, August, as that is the school is off on holidays, and then September, October primarily quite quiet, and then you have the winter picking back up in November, December. So it's one of those things that the winter is really necessary to continue throughout the year. And you know, we still have the issues with the air bridge, where there's not enough service available to cater to Tobago. And diversification of the economy into tourism, we need that airlift, we need that sea bridge working properly to get people over to Tobago.
Now, some analysts argue that while the SOE may affect perception, Tobago's tourism industry has faced structural challenges for years. Do you agree with this statement?
I started in tourism back in 1989, and I can tell you the challenges have been there prior to me getting into tourism in 89, and they're still there. The challenges have been on the air bridge as long as I can remember, since we had the old terminal building and the little snacket by the mango tree at the airport. So I'm going back before 1989. So we've been having problems year round. We now have a spanking new terminal building at the other N.R. Robertson Airport. So we can only hope that that is going to bring some sort of positivity. We are working with airlift to get airlift out of different countries. And you're going to see some changes in the upcoming months where we have some airlines that are looking at Tobago now that we have this airport terminal. And you'll see some changes, and hopefully they're going to be positive and in time for us to save the July, August, September type period. So we're keeping our hopes positive.
Now, we're shifting the conversation back a bit earlier to when you mentioned that there are visitors on the island who aren't aware of the SOE. Now, is there a gap between the perception abroad and the reality here in Tobago, and what is the tourism industry doing here to manage the messaging that is being received overseas?
Well, you have to remember that once this SOE is put out there, that travelers traveling, 80% of them want to get travel insurance before they do their trip. And a lot of insurance companies do not give travel insurance to countries that are under, the travelers who are traveling to countries under SOE. So technically, you've just lost 80% of your market to those countries. So it's not just a matter of having a SOE, it's the things that happen in between. But when a SOE is announced, you get the UK, Germany, a lot of the big countries that put out travel advisories, and this is what tourists look at. And at the end of the day, Tobago needs those international tourists, and Trinidad and Tobago needs them for the US and pounds and euro that they bring into the country. So an SOE signals that you have problems. You look at an island like Jamaica, up in Montego Bay, that has run a SOE, I think, for about the last 12 or 14 years. And they've run it successfully because they've chosen certain areas of Jamaica to put that in. And Montego Bay is their main tourist area, and they've done it there. So maybe that's what we need to look at. Maybe re-look at the SOSAs or whatever they called it, and try and make some changes. But at the end of the day, use our armed forces and try and get the little bit of criminal activity that we have left in this country under control.
On the topic of the ZOSO bill, I know Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar recently in her address at the 50th CARICOM Heads of State meeting, she recognized Prime Minister of Jamaica for utilizing the ZOSO bill as well. Do you believe if we get this bill, if it goes back into the Parliament for the bill to be passed, and it's done in that way where our tourism branches aren't affected, would you believe that the tourism industry would support it?
You see, people respect the fact that a bill like this can actually work because it gives the authorities a little bit more control in the areas that are out of control. So at the end of the day, this bill will help Trinidad and Tobago move forward. It will help people in areas that are generally good to not have any issues, and it will give the police force a little bit more ability to curb crime in the so-called hotspot. And we all know where the hotspots are. And, yes, I think it will help.
Do you believe Tobago has an opportunity to further distinguish its brand from Trinidad when it comes to tourism marketing?
We can, and we are trying that, but at the end of the day, we're a republic. We're a Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We're two islands that are joined by name and by constitution. So whatever you do, you still have that stigma. And, we just have to keep going and trying to do the best that we can.
Now, I know in the previous conversation as well, we were speaking about the new airport that is down at Compound, the new ANR, newly spanked airport, as you mentioned. What are some of the tour operators or the airlines that are interested in coming here based on the conversation that you just had with me, that you were mentioning that they are airlifts interested in coming here and creating that bridge between their country and ours, especially in countries like Germany, as earlier spoken about?
Well, I'm not going to call names of an airline, but we have a few things that we are working on, and that would be direct service into Tobago. Because at the end of the day, when you get into Trinidad and Piago, it then becomes difficult on the air bridge to get back to Tobago. So we're working on things to come directly into the island of Tobago to alleviate some of those problems. But at the same time, we are working with Trinidad on tourism because Trinidad and Tobago offers a unique mix. I mean, I can tell you that 280-something species of bird life between the two islands. The scuba diving in Tobago is phenomenal. The tarpon fishing on the west of Trinidad is phenomenal. So there's a lot of mixes between the two islands that are great. You think of the Caroni Swamp, you think of all the big, the large waterfalls in Trinidad as compared to the smaller ones in Tobago. Tobago's rainforest is 250 years next month of being protected. So each island offers such amazing different things that we need to market the two islands together, and we're doing that. You know, to give the tourists, both local TNT tourists, and the tourists abroad, the big picture of what Tobago has to offer. But as you know, our negative is that one thing that we have been dealing with for years.
Given the turn of events as it relates to the state of emergency, do you think it's in the best interest of those in the tourism industry to use this downtime to really restructure and recalibrate how they would be moving forward, given the opportunity when the SOE lifts?
You know that question is a little strange in certain senses. Tobago doesn't need any more downtime. Tobago has been down since before COVID. COVID really crushed it. We started to see some greener pastures coming up, and we want to make sure that we continue into that better part that we can do for Tobago. So we really don't need any more downtime at this point. We need uptime. We need to get all the restaurants, the bars, the ground tour operators, the guys who are taking trips into the rainforest, into the waterfalls, the scuba diving crew into the underwater world, the deep sea fishing. You know, so downtime is a thing of the past. Let's look forward and make forward movements in tourism.
And Mr. McLean, we're just going to go for a short break and we'll be right back to continue the conversation. To our viewers looking on, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
I think part of the problem we have, and this is not unique to cardiology, but this concept of checkup is going for review. So for example, women are probably better at, they have the mammogram, they have the pap smear, an older patient may have a schedule with a healthcare clinic. So a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s don't think of our healthcare as being part of a proactive thing. So they're waiting for something to happen, then go to the doctor.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. On screen, we're seeing a live shot of Orange Hill traffic light, Spring Garden traffic light. We're seeing free-flowing traffic from that Orange Hill Road going into Scarborough, passing Yards Comfort in there. There's a bit of a small pile-up leaving from the Orange Hill gas station heading east onto the Claude Noel Highway. We're still seeing free-flowing traffic. It's still an opportunity to get out on the road, and I'm always going to encourage our drivers on the road this morning to be safe as you traverse the nation's roads. That was the end of your traffic report. Continuing the conversation this morning, we have Reginald McLean on the air. We're going to continue talking about the SOE and its impact on the Tobago tourism product. Welcome back, Mr. McLean.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. McLean, previously we spoke about the impact of the SOE on the tourism sector. We spoke about some of the messaging that we would like to have put in place that our international tourists would be able to realize and identify that Tobago is still relatively safe and open for business, as we have visitors here who also state that they are unaware that they are under an SOE because things still are relatively safe. Now, what role should the Tobago House of Assembly and the national government play in supporting the tourism growth going forward, especially given like that we are currently within the SOE?
Well, at the end of the day, everybody has to put out the word that Tobago is safe. Our crime is very minimal in Tobago, so we want the people locally and abroad to understand how safe Tobago is. Trinidad is also very safe. There are just certain areas that everybody knows that you avoid because of the crime aspect of it. So at the end of the day, we are safe, we are open for business, and we are inviting all our guests, whether they be from Tobago, from Trinidad, or from abroad, to come and enjoy what Tobago has to offer. And Tobago has a lot to offer, from the adventure tourists to the naturalists, the bird watchers, the divers, people looking for the total R&R, those looking for good food, good drink, and good company, because the people of Tobago are what makes Tobago Tobago. So, Tobago is open for business. Come and enjoy it.
Now, you're right on par with the question I had to follow up, which was, are there opportunities to expand Tobago's niche markets, ecotourism, heritage tourism, dive tourism? What are your thoughts on that? And how do you hope to see that looking like in the future, even past the SOE?
Well, we are working. The THTA is working very closely with TTAL, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, and the Secretary for Tourism, and the Chief Secretary and the Secretary of Finance, and all the various secretaries within the Assembly to ensure that what we offer here is a great vacation for people coming here to enjoy our island. You'd notice how clean Tobago is because the people of Tobago are proud people, and they're not, they're not the ones that throwing rubbish outside the windows when they're driving down the road, things like that. So Tobago is a beautiful island. Come and enjoy it, and we welcome you with open arms.
And how important right now is it for public and private sector collaborations given the current state?
As in any type of business, we all depend on the government as a facilitator of things that are necessary for that business to operate. So government needs to facilitate what has to be done in tourism and work together with the private sector one-on-one to ensure that what has to happen is happening. We don't want to have laws that are creating problems for us. We don't want to have increases in alcohol of 100% that do create problems, because now we become more expensive than our closest neighbors, and it kind of puts you out of the market in certain instances. But the bottom line is the people of Tobago are warm and welcoming, and come and enjoy it.
Now, given the decrease in bookings, as we spoke about earlier, has there been any conversations with the THA as it relates to compensation for hoteliers and those in the tourism industry?
How do you quantify that to say, I've lost 100 bookings? I made a comment earlier about travel insurance, and 80% of the people take that. So if 80% of the people don't come, how do you quantify it? It's something that we have mentioned to the THA. They are looking at it, but at the end of the day, we have to get out of this feeling of give me that happens in Trinidad and Tobago, and we have to get back to the reality of things. Is that you want something to work, it takes hard work, it takes cooperation with the government to facilitate you as a business person, and we move forward.
And ending the interview on a positive note, I want you to send messages to persons who are looking at this interview internationally, who are considering having a vacation here in Tobago. Send your last pitch to them and why they should still come to Tobago.
Tobago, because Tobago has been kept back in tourism, Tobago is still so natural, the natural beauty of the island. When you drive around this island, you have all these little bays, these coves, these small beaches. Some of them are only accessible by foot or by boat. Tobago is just so beautiful. The people are, the food is. Come and enjoy it, right? We have crime under control, so you don't have any worries with that while you're here. But stick within the law and ensure that you have a great vacation. So come to Tobago, relax with us, and enjoy it. Let us pamper you.
Thank you so much, Mr. McLean, for coming and having this conversation with us this morning, speaking to us about the SOE's impact on Tobago's tourism product. And I hope going forward that things are alleviated in a way where those in the tourism industry are able to see an uptick in their bookings and are able to continue with their livelihoods.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you to the world.
Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. We're going to head to a short break, but when we'll be right back, we'll be continuing the conversations this morning. But please remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From from physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or a multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates morning show. And if you're looking at our traffic report, it just might be a little too late for you. The highway is filled. You can see the traffic going all the way back from the Wilson Road traffic light to the Rockley Vale traffic light. But still get out on those roads. The lights are on green right now, flowing from east to west and west to east along the Claude Noel Highway. And we can see traffic piling up as well on the Plymouth Road heading into Scarborough. All is not lost. Maybe you could get to work for 8:15 or 8:30 if you're rush, and come out your bed now and get ready, get those children ready, head over, drop them off to school and head into your job. You might just have to stay a little 15 minutes extra after 4, maybe a little 4:30, something, who knows. And that was your traffic report, sponsored by the Port Mall. Okay, viewers, we have in studio with us ASP Bacchus, Mahalia Bacchus of the TTPS, as well as WPC Candice Charles. And they are here to talk about the 5K Glow Hype Run. The 5K Glow Hype Run. Good morning and welcome, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you for having us this morning.
Okay, so tell us a bit about what this 5K Glow Hype Run is about.
All right, so well, you know, first of all, I'm happy to be here to bring some good news from the TTPS as usual. And for us, this is good news that we are going to be able to partner with the members of our community, the Tobago community, as a matter of fact, no specific place, because this activity is open to everyone. All right, so this activity is part of our community initiative, and I want to allow Ms. Charles to do some of the explanation because she has been a founding person into this event. So I'm going to give her the opportunity to give us some more details on it.
Good morning, everyone. I am Candice Charles. So basically, I came up with this idea from since like last year. We form a committee within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Tobago Division. So it goes by the name of TDEC, which stands for the Tobago Division Events Committee. So we had our carnival event, which was the soca show down at the Police Association building, and then I am now charged with the Glow Run. So basically how I came up with the Glow Run is from looking at all the things that going on within this little island, Tobago on a whole, where I grew up, and how things has changed. I still wanted to just see the positive of everything. So I say, why not go with a light? Why not go from community to community? We have 6 police stations in the Tobago division. So my intention is for us to start at each police station with this Glow Run, shining the light throughout Tobago and watching it all the crime, hoping that we could still bring some positiveness and show people that regardless of what, there's still brightness from all of that they are seeing. So this Glow Run will be starting, we are starting from the Shervan Road district. So on Saturday 21st of March 2026, we commence with the first Glow Run from the Shervan Road Police Station, where we will en route and end at the Mount Irvin car park, the Mount Irvin Beach car park, and it begins at 5 p.m. And now I also bear in mind the culture of our Tobago people. So we're not looking at something where we'll charge them no big set of money, but the $40 is basically for refreshments, the collection of medals, because for the first 150 runners, they will collect a medal. And also we cater for the walkers, so we collect, the 50 walkers will collect a medal as well.
Okay, and is it that, so this is not going to be the only 5K Glow Run?
No, it's not going to be the only one.
So you will have from the different police stations?
From the different, so
but this is just the first
one.
So the intention is to spread the light.
To spread the light.
Right? We intend to spread the light throughout the entire Tobago division, and the expectation, as she said, is that we're going to start these runs or walk from the district police station. You know, so the police just wants to bring some light into the darkness that we are facing at this point in time, sometimes in our spaces, you know, so that's the idea behind the glow.
And have you all reached out to like these various running communities in Tobago? You know, those persons like to stay fit, always running a 5K or 10K when the morning come.
So we created the jot forms online, and persons had to register there. In terms of the payments would be done with next Wednesday and Thursday at the Scarborough Police Station, where persons could come in and pay. So far, the response from the jot forms are really, really tremendous. We're having a good support, so I do hope that the persons who register will indeed come out. We still have space for more people, regardless of because one set of the jot forms were already filled, so we created another one. So persons are still being calling. I can't get you to sign up for this thing, so you could come down on this Saturday and you could sign up and pay your $40 and be a part of this initiative.
Okay. So seems like something very, very interesting.
Yes.
And in terms of persons, you said the forms are online.
Yes.
It's a jot form.
It's a jot form.
So there's a lot of interest being garnered in the space.
Yes. It has been overwhelming. Right? We have been receiving a lot of calls and, you know, social media. So it has been circulating a lot on the social media space. And as you mentioned, there are the walk enthusiasts and the fitness groups and so on that have shown their interest. Because if you check, we have we catered for groups as well. Right? If you look at the flyer, so you have individual prices and you have group prices that you can pay. So you can come out in your numbers, you could bring out your posse, you know, and come out and you could show off, you know, because you know some persons are more fit than some and so on. But at the end of the day,
you're welcome to walk. You and the whole updates team can come out.
And bring the producer as well, no? He said when we were off air, he was saying that it sounds like something that he's very interested in.
I want to throw that challenge to him, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we'll make sure he don't get away from it because
I am going to be there.
It's something he needs, you know. He really needs it.
Also, we are encouraging persons to wear that white jersey as well. So the white will signify peace between all of us. Persons should not be afraid of the police. We are humans just as everybody else, and all of this is in with our pillars, where you would partnership with the citizens of your country, and I really look forward to seeing the entire Tobago.
I just wanted to expound a little more on what she said, you know. So we are guided by goals and objectives as a police service, and one of our goals and objectives, or one of the pillars that we build on, is community partnerships. So events like these are what we use as opportunities to build that further bond with persons in our different communities in a different way, in a lighter way, you know, in a more fun way. You know, your health is your wealth. So, you know, it's an opportunity for us to be fit, to gain that opportunity to be healthy, and also to create that partnership as two entities in society.
And I was going to now go into that question. I've seen that the TTPS, particularly in Tobago Division, have been making a very concerted effort to build those connections and that community with the general public.
Yes.
And in terms of how has those initiatives bore success for the TTPS so far?
Yes, it has done very well. One of the things, I work very closely with our AV unit, Mr. Braffett, who is always here with you guys. And, you know, one of the things he always says is that we often find people turning the camera on the police for the negative. So now the police is turning the camera on everyone for the positive. We want you all to see that we are not about the negative that everybody has or says about us at all times. You know, we have positives about us, and we will continue in that stead to try to build that foundation and partnership with the persons on the outside in positive ways as much as we can.
All right, so just to wrap up the interview, just give us the information once again, where you could get the forms, when is the registration, when is the event, how much it is to pay, that kind of thing.
Okay, so the 5K Hype Glow Run would be on March 21st, Saturday, March 21st at 5 p.m. starting at the Shervan Road Police Station. Then we'll en route to the Mount Irving car park. Persons are required to pay $40. There would be 200 medals to give away, 150 for the first 150 runners and 50 for the first 50 walkers. Persons are also encouraged to wear a white t-shirt and just come and enjoy yourself.
Don't forget the groups.
And the group packages. Group of 10, you'll pay $350. There are contact numbers provided: 788-3515, 316-9502, 327-5686, and 274-4466. You can call any one of those numbers and we will be willing to assist you. Also, on the Wednesday and Thursday of next week, we will be at the Scarborough Police Station for persons who want to come in and pay before the day of the event.
All right, viewers, you heard that the TTPS TDEC, Tobago Division Events Committee, putting on that 5K Glow Hype Run. 5K Glow Hype Run. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. I think I want to come out. I'll try to be one of those top 50 walkers.
You're welcome.
One of those top 50 walkers to get a medal, and I'll try and bring up my producer with me. And a little lazy,
bring the whole team.
You can make it. You can make it.
We look forward to that Tobago Update team. That team from Tobago Update. Yes.
Team.
Yes. So viewers, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the Tobago Updates morning show, but our programming continues. Up next, we have GMT, so we ask you to do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next.
Proud to officially open the Roxville Police Club Computer Room, a space that represents growth, opportunity, and our commitment to empowering our community through education and technology.
Today's initiative that is once again being supported by the Digicel Foundation is indeed a record-breaking success. Not everybody can be able to buy a computer. And even though they buy a computer, some of them don't have internet. And there will be a space, a safe space, where they can come and do their homework and to be able to do their SBAs and to be able to ensure that they have a starting chance in life.
At Tobago, we often speak about Panyard model. A Panyard is not just where music is played. It's where discipline is learned, talent is shaped, teamwork is built, and young people is guided in a safe space and positive environment. This exactly is what Technology and Education Center represent. Just as a Panyard brings young people together around steel pan, this center brings them together around technology to learn, to explore, and to prepare for the future.
I am truly thrilled to be here with you today as we celebrate the opening of another Technology in Education Center, the 4th Thai Center in Tobago. Through this program, we aim to bridge the digital divide by expanding access to technology and the internet in communities that need it most. And with the invaluable partnership of Tobago, we have been able to go a step further, embedding technology within panyards.
Just to say to the young people and all the persons who will be accessing this facility, you need to show ownership of it. You need to take care of it. And I suppose that in the not too distant future, knowing Mr. Hazel and the Police Youth Club, they're going to expand on it when they look at how many persons are accessing it.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting.
Good morning, Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Outrage is spilling over within the TRHA. Nurses have been called in to sign a 3-year contract yesterday, despite being promised permanent employment last November 23rd and December 9th. Health Secretary Dr. Faith Rebner addressed the matter at a recent media briefing, but medical personnel are now labeling the 2025 pre-election promise as a mere election ploy ahead of the January 12th THA polls. The Division of Health Secretary maintains that it is following the established HR protocols, but the fallout is threatening to destabilize the island's nursing fraternity. Additionally, From a war zone to a hero's welcome. 19-year-old scholar Raylan Taylor is back in Tobago last night after being stranded in Abu Dhabi during the height of the Middle East conflict. Following drone strikes on Zayed International Airport, Taylor's flight home was grounded for over a week. Thanks to intervention by the Tobago House of Assembly and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Mason Hall native is safely home, ending an antagonizing wait for his family and the Tobago public. And finally, the TSTT is threatening legal action over a report alleging $400,000 executive retreat in Tobago. The company calls the figure grossly inaccurate, claiming the actual cost was 60% lower, while the Communication Workers Union is demanding transparency. TSTT insists the local retreat actually saved foreign exchange by avoiding overseas consultants. And that was all news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more conversations after this. See you soon.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or a multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
I think part of the problem we have, and this is not unique to cardiology, but this concept of checkup is going for review. So for example, women are probably better at, they have the mammogram, they have the pap smear, an older patient may have a schedule with a healthcare clinic. So a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s don't think of our healthcare as being part of a proactive thing. So they're waiting for something to happen, then go to the doctor.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, guys, and we are back. And of course, we are bringing you another overhead shot of the Claude Noel Highway. This time around, we are at the Rockleyville traffic light. And as you can see, there's quite a smooth flow of traffic that's heading to the east up at this particular traffic light, but always a bit of a slow movement of traffic that's heading west. You know, those persons that are coming from the east and heading into Scarborough, heading to work, usually you have a bit of a slow movement there. And not to forget that the usual pileup that happens right at that Wilson Road traffic light. And we still see, though a bit slow, you still have that free flowing movement. And then there's that the morning pattern that we can expect. Again, slow movement of traffic between the Wilson Road traffic light all the way over to that Spring Garden traffic light up at that Orange Hill gas station. Nevertheless, we are seeing movement, and so if you're heading to work, I bet you're gonna get there in no time. You don't have to worry about sitting in the car for very long. And again, you know, we're always going to give you those beautiful overhead shots of the island of Tobago, just in case you're not here, to remind you why we are the greatest little island on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This morning, we are chatting with the guys up there at Speyside, and I'm talking about Mr. Sherwin Melville, who is one of the promoters and event coordinators for the Speyside Soca Warriors Sport and Cultural Festival. Good morning, Mr. Melville, and welcome.
Morning, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Tell us a bit about the Soca Warriors Sport and Cultural Festival.
First thing, you may have missed my first name, which is Selwyn, but it's okay. It's still an S word, so it's always beautiful. But thank you very much. We, well, to be stating it clearly, I was born in Speyside, grew up and left Speyside very early and went to town to go to school in Scarborough, and then moved to Trinidad to become a sports commentator at Radio Trinidad, and then advanced from there and moved on. So, as a real boy from home, it is paramount that we give back something to our community, our island, and all that. So, while I've been very active outside of Tobago over the years, doing things to develop, like covering events like the Olympic Games, the Pan Am Games, and all these things, I have been very busy building my career. And now it's come to a point where I have to continue to give back to my people, and we are working assiduously toward making the little island a much better place for our people, and there's nothing better like giving back. So what we hope to have, or we are working on having, is the Sports and Cultural Festival in Speyside. And Speyside, as you know, has a lot of reputation. It is the place that had the first hotel in Tobago, Paradise Hotel, up there at near the Blue Waters in area. And we have the Chief Secretary up from Speyside. And many other citizens who have done tremendously well for the country have been out of Speyside and moving ahead in trying to build this place to a better place. Our event is scheduled for May the 30th, that weekend of the Indian arrival. And we are having a 3-day festival, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday. And this event will tell you a lot of things about we are going to do in this Juve on the Saturday. We're going to have a lot of cultural activities for that event, which would mean concerts, cultural performances, limbo dance, and whatever you ask for, you can get it on that weekend. In addition to that, one of our primary views is to have for Tobago a documentary produced to give us a chance to better expose Tobago and Speyside. Speyside has so many beautiful things to offer to the rest of the world. And some of the things that we have not really been exposed to the people. And it's our chance now to give them to look into Speyside and a close-up look at what we have to offer. And that will then encourage, because one of the things that's happening, you know, a lot of people gravitate towards the western side of the island. And the east has not really had most of the exposure that it's seeking. And our mission then now is to give Speyside and environs an opportunity to bring more of the visitors, the tourists, into Speyside and up into the east to see that the hotels, the guest houses and all those can be utilized properly and in the best way possible. And see what they have. And the attitude of the Tobagonian is really one of friendliness, kindness and love. And bringing our people to Speyside and environs is to make them know that it's not just in Tongside where you get that kind of goodness, but up in the east of the island has that to offer as well.
Right. And the festival promises to, bring to the fore a number of areas: sport, culture, commerce. And tell us a bit about the different elements of what should be offered and on what days.
So on the Saturday, on the Friday, because we had initially a date before that, but on the Friday, there'd be one of the events of the cultural activities where a number of the villages can give us an idea of what we offer in Tobago, and not just Speyside alone, because while we are hosting the event in Speyside, we have to recognize that Tobago is a very culturally organized place, so we can bring a lot of people out to show their talents in the area of who could dance the best ballet, who could sing good folk songs, and all these things. The limbo is a thing that is not really seen very much or pushed very much in Tobago. It's more a Trinidad thing. And we have a chance there to bring some of those people who do that, because there are groups right there in Tobago that perform and work very well with the limbo dance and all that. So you can see that's happening and knowing that that talent is not really dormant in Tobago, but it's alive. And we would have on the Saturday, the Juve up in the areas of Speyside where you're looking at going more near to Blue Waters Inn, the entrance there, and bring people right down. So it's a street parade, as it were, for the Juve. So it wouldn't be like we sit in an environment and all talk and laugh. We're bringing people to the streets to express themselves and understand what we mean a real Juve could really be like. And that would be part of the Saturday celebration and the holiday. Then we have in the evening as well some of the top artists that represent Trinidad and Tobago, more or less Tobago, performing on stage at the sports field there in Just Center in Lucivale near the secondary school. So big name artists have been identified and considered to participate in this event. So we could see that being a marquee event for that. And what we aim to do is to bring a lot of the people from the West in Tobago and in Trinidad up to Speyside. So if you have not really been exposed to the countryside very well, this is a chance for you to come and see what the countryside has to offer. And Speyside is a beautiful setting. From the time you enter Speyside on the Lambo Hill up there, the lookout, it gives you that feeling of what are they offering down there? This place is so beautiful. And then you got to look at the Buddha Paradise and the Tobago. All these pieces make up an entry pass into Tobago and to Speyside as well. But artists will be invited to perform as well, and there are some. We can't do anything without including the boys in Speyside. We have some good artists out of Speyside there who are doing very well on the circuit. They will be performing, plus other artists from Tobago and Trinidad as well, making up that. So we're not going to be one-sided in our approach to that.
Okay, and tell us a bit about the documentary. Is it a series? Is it a movie? Where would it be offered after? And, you know, what is the intention behind that?
Well, as I said in my introduction, that we have a lot of interest in Tobago quality. Just the waters we have. Speyside has the brain coral, the Japanese garden, and at Telestron there's another brain coral, it's a small one. So what we aim to do really is to bring together all the goodness that we have culturally and in the sense of not just the culture, but also what we have to offer on the island, because we're not really about sand, sea, and all those things. That we have other aspects of Speyside that can be brought to the fore. But let me just say a little more that the documentary we are doing is not totally on Speyside alone. It has aspects of Trinidad, of Tobago that's going to be brought to the fore and show really and truly to our people, because our intention with the documentary will go not just in Trinidad or just around Tobago and Tobago updates. It's our people who are coming in to work with us. It's a gentleman from out of Belgium who is a director, and there's a guy from Marion out of South Africa who is also an award-winning producer. So they are some good friends of mine, and when we discuss the possibility of doing this thing, they offer their services to come in and enjoy what Tobago has to offer and share with the rest of the world. But they were the producers of that, the two gentlemen who produced a documentary for South Africa on wildlife and possibilities, which is an award-winning program. So we are simple but not ordinary. We are coming with the best of the people, for award-winning people, to give Tobago something that we are really looking forward to and try to further expose. Now, there have been documentaries done on Tobago in different areas. So we have in our own structure areas that are not really known very much with Tobago. We look for an opportunity to further expose what Tobago is offering and take it to a different level of quality of the program that we would like to do there in Tobago. So this documentary is going to be, well, I can't tell you, fantastic, going to be extraordinary. And we're going to do things that are normally not seen, and the approach and attitude towards that will be something that the world will be very happy about. And now know that Speyside and Tobago has a lot to offer, and we are very proud to be able to be a part of that exchange. And to add some other things to it too, we have met with the Tobago House of Assembly, we have met with the Tourism Division and discussed our proposal and our ideas for what we want to do. And the hotels in Tobago are supporting very much the whole idea of this event, because they see this as a tremendous opportunity to further expose what Tobago is all about and Speyside in itself. And we start to create more opportunities for the tourists that come to Tobago. And while we are trying to tell them directly, when you come, you must say, I want to go to Speyside. My people outside in Belgium and South Africa, they have come up with a theme, Tobago to go. And that's what they are doing and working on to build in the documentary. There are other people who are in Trinidad and outside of Trinidad and Tobago know about what we are looking at and are seeking to be a part of what we are giving, because they see it as something that is tremendous for our people. And these are some of the areas in which we are approaching.
Understood.
In addition to that, yeah, go ahead.
Are you looking for partners for the festival? You indicated that you already began pitching to a number of different entities. Are you guys still looking for partners for the festival? Is any particular area of the festival paid? Is it entirely free? Tell us a bit about that.
Tobago Updates could become a partner of the event. You don't smile, you must smile. That's better. Excuse me. We have working with and invited and communicating with a number of entities in Trinidad. Because on a business scale, the opportunities are wider in a sense in Trinidad than we have Tobago as a growing society and needs to have more exposure in that area to have people now generate more interest in doing things on the island. Because I think we need to have more entrepreneurship among our people, seeing the possibilities of things that are happening and how they can generate more energy and interest for themselves and their businesses. To see Tobago has been more a vibrant society than it is at the current time. But we have been working with everyone because there are entities in Trinidad that do business that concerns Tobago, and we are working with those and speaking with them to ensure that we generate the fire that we need to generate some energy enough in Speyside that could change the whole dimension of how we see our Tobago Island and Tobago on a whole.
Right, and we know that, during the long weekends, that's the time when we see the highest level of domestic tourism on the island. Persons come from Trinidad all the time to enjoy that weekend getaway in Tobago. Is this event, as you say, you have those partners in Trinidad, but is it being marketed and targeted towards that domestic audience as well?
Well, as usual, what we do is that what we are doing is to encourage. We're even looking at having some packages proposed who would be interested in coming to Tobago for the Juve for the other aspects of the program and come in and participate in that. So we are wide ranging and we are not isolating Speyside and just all people around the diaspora. We also have part of our package would be an awards ceremony on the Saturday, and what we would have in that package, we would now recognize the people who have contributed tremendously to the development of Tobago. Most people have done things and they go home, you hear people complaining that boy, me do all them things out Tobago and nobody not take me on. They don't really care about me. So we would want to recognize people who have done tremendously well for Tobago and Speyside and around the communities, because like Castara and these places have been doing so very well for tourism for Tobago. And even when they had the COVID problem, Castara was still doing very well. And some of the villages in Tobago are trying to model their approach with the way Castara has been doing things. So people like those must be recognized. Gemma, with the food establishment there in Speyside, she's an international name and what she has done. So these are things that we would recognize clearly and give people an opportunity to get the recognition they deserve. So after all the years that they have done things, they would certainly be very proud and they can walk with their heads up because they've been recognized and shown and told, thank you very much for your contribution. And we hope that your generation will continue to give like you did. And we move on from there because there's always tomorrow. And we have to take care of tomorrow in a much better way than we are at the moment.
You to, as we close this morning our discussion, just remind persons viewing of the times and the dates for the events.
Yes, ma'am. So on the Friday, that's the 29th, we're going to have the concerts and some of the activities of the festival itself. On the Saturday, you have Juve, and the Saturday the holiday would also feature a number of artists participating in the activities there in Speyside. And that would be featuring more concert type activity, giving the islanders a good chance to show their cultural steadiness and the quality that we've developed all the years. Because as a boy growing up in Speyside, I had to learn how to dance the ballet and do the bongo and all those things. And those are things that are not really around as much as we had them in the past. So we'd like to relive some of those moments back. And then the Sunday, top artists will be on stage to perform and carry on We also have a bonfire that is lined up as well for the Sunday, I must say as well, although some are not. And one thing before I even run away must be that the Speyside Village Council is part of our effort because we are working on a community effort for Speyside. So a number of groups in Speyside have now consented to be associated with what we are trying to do on the day because the fishermen, who also been very exclusive in Speyside with some of the activities, they are now discussing to join with us to be a part of what is going to happen because they all see it as an integral part of the further development of the island and the village in itself. So many are saying yes to that, and we are very happy that you're coming with this kind of idea and this attitude towards the communication within the community because it's all about all in one. We all have to come together and stay together and work with each other to ensure that we have something at the best possible level that we can.
Definitely. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here with us this morning and sharing all about the Speyside Soca Warrior Sport and Cultural Festival that would be happening in May of this year. And so we look forward to all that has to build and to help to contribute to Tobago's tourism product and community engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way.
Some bunnies getting a great rate today. Looking for a rate that's bright and sunny? Hop on down for some Easter money. 1% interest through and through. Because we see you at BCU. Apply for a 1% Easter loan and let's hatch something great together.
Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we are giving you a bit of a view of downtown Scarborough here, and you're seeing right in front of the Scarborough Esplanade on Milford Road, and you see that there is a bit of a slow movement of traffic there that is heading east, while there is a bit of a free flow of movement heading west. Usually a bit easier to get out of Scarborough at this time than to get in. As you can see, the Port Mall there, that's where we are located, on the 3rd floor of the Port Mall. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are welcoming you back here with us, and we are talking a bit about what has been happening among the boat owners in Tobago. Particularly, we have had some theft of recent, and we are also talking about what has been happening at the Pigeon Point Beach as it pertains to some boat repairs and just environmental safety and security. To have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of chatting with Mr. Ronnie and Terry Pitt, who are both boat owners and captains. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the world.
Excellent. Well, we want to start off by talking about one of the stories that emerged last week as it pertains to some boat building that was happening, or that possibly is still happening, on the Pigeon Point Beach shoreline. That sparked a bit of a controversy. You know, we heard that you guys coming out and talking about the fact that this has been done for a while without any problems, and now there seems to be a bit of a pushback from the board of the Pigeon Point Beach. We heard about money being invested in the shoreline at approximately $30,000. Give us a bit of a background story. Help us to understand this story and give us the context a bit better.
Right. Mr. Pitt, you want to start?
Okay. Good morning, viewers. Thanks for having me. To start with, I want to put out there to the public that building boat on the shoreline is a practice has been taking place for over, as Mr. Elliott rightly said,
more than 50 years.
More than 50 years. Like, how is it in local parlance? Donkey years now.
Donkey years.
Right? And the Pigeon Point management of lately want to make the boatmen look like we are so bad that we don't care about the environment, and it's so wrong, because to start off with, what I want to put to the public out there is that all the materials that we use when it comes to building boats is eco-friendly material to start with, right? Because the Boku Reef is a sensitive area and we're dealing with the marine life. So to begin with, I don't want to debunk that statement from the Boku Reef management when coming to environment. Secondly, the controversy there is very old. It's a very old controversy pertaining to the boat builders and the Southwest Fisherfolk Association, whereas it began all that the present administration gave the rights to the boat builders to occupy, I think how much piece of land it is?
It's 3 or 4 acres.
About 3 to 4 acres of land.
Where?
In Pigeon Point, where we actually are.
Okay.
Right? That was given to us to the from the secretary, the chief secretary, Mr. London. Right? About 4 acres of land. And as we go way back, that land was swamp land. Right? Even Pigeon Point had a sign there saying you cannot go beyond that point. Right?
Okay.
So the fishermen backfilled that land. They actually prepared to a stage of readiness. And it took a lot of resources from the fishermen, because it didn't happen overnight. It happened as, you put some money together. There was a certain situation where we had to hold barbecue. We had to do different functions to raise funds to actually get that project up and running. And when the land was completed, totally backfilled, we had to stall a bit, because most of our resources was depleted. And then we just put a container on the property where we actually store our engines, store our equipments for safekeeping, right?
And Mr. Elliott, I want to find out, what is the alternative solution that has been offered by this administration as opposed to building boats on the shoreline at Pigeon Point?
Well, good morning again. My name is Ronnie Hostin Elliott. I want to give a little backstory before we get to where we are right now. Now, the boatmen have been in Pigeon Point, Storby, Boku, that's the reef boat guys, for many, many years. This was started by one Cecil Anthony way back in the 60s or 50s, right? He's the first guy from Boku that started taking people to the reef, right? So if people who are a bit older would know, in the early days you went to the reef from Boku, right? Before we came to Storby and then into Pigeon Point, right? So I want to pay homage to the people who came before me, right? Cecil Anthony's, the Johnsons from Boku, right? Then we had, when we left Boku and came to Storby, we had Stanley Dillon, we had Archie, we had Mr. John Grant. Everybody know Mr. John Grant, right? He started as a boat owner before he branched off into being the entrepreneur that he became, right? The McDougals, the Yates, right? All these people were reef boat owners and did reef tours from Pigeon Point and Storby. right? So from there, we came into this dispensation where the younger guys now doing it. We had the York Prides, right? We have Frankie Tours, we have Cool Runnings, right? We have Sun Fun, right? We have all these boats, right, that came out of Storby and Pigeon Point. We had 3 try, 1, 2, and 3, right? Then, of course, I have to give the biggest mention to Mitch, Big Mitch. Those who know from the beginning, the big guy who did boat tours down there that everybody in the world loved. He would have kudos from all over the world. People would talk about this big guy, Big Mitch. He died at a young age, right? I started with that guy when I was a teenager, right? He was a friend of mine. We grew up together. We took people on the reef from the entrance to Pigeon Point. All right, so we've been doing this for many, many years. That's before I came to own my own boat. I worked with Mitch, right? That's a guy that we must remember, right, as part of the reef trade. So let's come forward to where we are now, right? So we have been building boats, refurbishing boats, repairing boats, pulling boats out of the water, pushing boats back into the water from that said area that Mr. Pitt just spoke about, right? We saw paperwork, right, from the Pigeon Point board and the Pigeon Point folks that said this area was designated for the boat owners. Boat owners been there way before the government took over Pigeon Point, right? And let me remind people that it's the fishermen and the reefmen that made it possible for this government to own Pigeon Point, because my family, that guy that got killed there, that was my first cousin. I was right here in Tobago when it happened, right? I was right in that area when we were doing protests, right? Before the Orville Dundon government decided they were going to buy Pigeon Point. So we've been here for many, many, many years. We have never been given an alternative area to do what we do, right? That is our area as far as we know. We have never had a discussion where we had anybody from the Pigeon Point board or the people that responsible for Pigeon Point saying, look, we don't want you all to have any boat building or any boat refurbishment or anything to do with the boats back there in that area, right? As far as being eco-unfriendly, all the years we've been doing work there, we've been cleaning up after the boats are finished refurbishing or being built. There's a total cleanup of the area, right? So as far as we know, this is something that just happened. We don't know why it happened, but it happened, and we're trying to deal with it and make sure that everybody come to the right conclusion and have the right dispensation after this situation, so we would know how to go forward.
Right. And how has the correspondence been with the board thus far? I see that you guys have called for an immediate meeting with the board of the Pigeon Point. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, the board has, as far as we understand, the board has been disbanded, so there's no board.
Okay.
Right. So right now there's not a board in place, so it's just the management. The person, I guess, who is managing Pigeon Point would be the person responsible right now. So there's not a board in place as yet, right? But we have been calling, since there's a situation now, we think the best thing to do is have a sit down with those who are responsible, right? And get this situation taken care of, because it should have never come to this where they would have to be sending out letters and sending out communiques to
the boat owners.
you guys, that the media people, right? Because they could have simply come and have a conversation with the boat owners as far as we are concerned. If there's something going on there and they think it shouldn't be happening, I think the first step is you come to the boat owners and you say, look, this is happening that we notice, please cease and desist. And if that didn't happen, then you take the next step. That never happened.
Understood. But you did indicate that you received a cease and desist letter.
No, we had no, what I'm saying is we had no communication.
Right.
We were just given a letter. I just happened to be at Pigeon Point, which I'm at every single day of the week, right? So because the boats go from Store Bay into Pigeon Point. So when I was there going to do my business on the jetty, one of the ladies who worked there at Pigeon Point, she came out and handed me a letter. When I checked it out, that is what was in the letter. So what we are saying is there was no communication prior to that there was something that they weren't happy with, right? Otherwise, obviously, we would have taken care of it.
Right. Mr. Pitt, tell us a bit about, you have seen that in recent time a lot of investment has been going into Pigeon Point to try to make it one of the pristine aspects of the Tobago tourism products. And now that the Pigeon Point board or management is saying that, listen, as we move toward improving the facilities, we want to see some level of change, some level of uniformity, some cleanliness. What is the middle ground that your team is suggesting as it pertains to ensuring that we continue to offer a premium product in Pigeon Point while also looking after the best interests of the boat owners?
Yes, it's a nice question, because this is a conversation we always welcome in Pigeon Point with management, that how we can work together. You know, we don't like the atmosphere where it's we against them. We never like that, but it always turns out to look that way, right? Because the Boko Reef, we are the #1 service providers in the island of Tobago when it comes to tourism, and every time decision is being made, they make it without our input. And all we've been asking the management in tourism, from Pigeon Point, if it's Store Bay or Boko, what about inclusiveness? Include us as well. I want to go back. I don't want to take away from the conversation, but I want to start in Store Bay, for example. Store Bay, before it became a popular destination, it was the fisherman there, it was the reef operator there, and it had the ladies, Miss Jean, Miss Esme, Miss Trim, used to be selling their food. And they used to sell the food under the trees, right? But when development came, the tourism industry saw that this is a good product, so they built kitchens to facilitate Miss Esme, Miss Trim, Miss Jean, and it's a very good idea. And then they push out the fishermen. And no kind of development or, how to say, inclusiveness for the reef operators. There's nothing. So what the point I'm trying to make is that the development have to come also with the glass bottom boat operators, because the glass bottom boat operators have a symbiotic relationship with the Boko Reef, and Store Bay, Pigeon Point, and Boko are just hubs for us to get to the Boko Reef. But when you look at these three facilities, there's not even a place where we could actually change our clothes when the morning come. We are captains. You know, the captain leave home. You know, you have the dry clothes, then you have to change. There's nowhere for us to actually change. Sometimes you hear outcry from the public about our practice. You know, our presentation, we don't look professional. You know, all these things we hear. But to improve that, we need facilities. For example, we meet someone who wants employment in the glass bottom boat sector. There's no place I can do an orientation to say, okay, well, this is the do's and the don'ts. You know, we know the captains, we want training. Sometimes every 6 months we want to do a CPR course, or we want to improve the product, but there's no facilities on the compound. So all we've been asking the management in these areas that we want a space. The only way how we could improve is if we get a space where we could, because in our field of work, what we have is, we have captains, we have bowmen, but the tourism industry, they have, how to say it, marine biologists, they have people with degrees holders with marketing, you know, we could work together.
Right.
Yeah. So in this way now, the young men, okay, when you go to Tobago Beach or you go to where we are, I see they gathered, you know, they want to improve, but we don't have the how to say, the amenities to improve our product. So all we asking the administration is to work with us, because we are part of this. Because look at Tobago, they put kitchens for the women, but where is the facilities for the glass bottom boat operators? And if anyone could agree with this, is that the Boko Reef is the #1 tourist attraction in Tobago.
Right. And Mr. Elliott, moving forward, what type of partnerships do you suggest with not just Pigeon Point, but with the Division of Tourism? What are you guys looking forward to? What is the relief that you would say would make things better going forward?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, communication, we have no communication, right? There's no communication between the Pigeon Point board and the Pigeon Point management, the Tobago board. Well, I don't think there's a board in Tobago, there's the management. So the boatmen are basically on their own, right? The boatmen don't have a means of communicating or having dialogue with those that run the facilities. All right, so one of the main things the boatmen are concerned about, right, is having a slipway, right, for the boats, so that this situation, we shouldn't even have this situation that we're talking about right now, with boats being built and refurbished in that area. There should be a slipway. If we had owned the property as it was supposed to be, we would have put a slipway, we would have an enclosed area so that we could do the kind of work the boatmen need to do to make sure the boats are seaworthy and the boats are ready for business, right? Boats, people think that they come and they see the finished product. Boat building, boat maintenance is a lot of work, a lot of work. Engines, to maintain your engines, to upkeep and maintain anything in salt water, it takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of work to make sure that these boats are seaworthy. Thank God we hardly have any accidents and problems with boats. Yes, there are a few, right? Just like any other thing that we have, cars, planes, anything that we have with engines that moves, there are going to be accidents and mishaps. We do have that with boats. Thank God, on the reef, we never had no fatality with the boats, so we think we've been doing an excellent job. So we need to speak with the powers that be. They need to get with us, we need to get with them, so we could come to a conclusion how we're going to go about building the reef tour, because that's what I'm concerned about. The reef tour product. We need slipways, we need places for the boatmen, as Mr. Terry just said, to have as their own, that they could educate people, they could have a space where they could train, they could have we have a space where we could do whatever we need to do to make sure that the product is better than we have now, right? So we're building much bigger reef boats, we're building better reef boats. Now we understand more what people want, how they like the boats to be, right? Because as people who come on the reef regularly, which are Trinidadians, we don't have much tourists like the old days. So now it's basically people from Trinidad would come to Tobago, and they come often with their families. So when they come, most of the time they come to go on a specific boat, because that's the boat they're comfortable with, that's the boat they're accustomed going with. Frankie Tours have the people that would come to them, Cool Runnings have the people that would come to them, the guys in Pigeon Point, Sugar Lips, Big Mitch, right, Tree Try, First Try, all these, everybody have the people that will come to them, because they are accustomed coming with their families. So we build our boat, and we now boats have music. Now boats have areas where people could dance, right? These are things that people ask for, so we provide it, right? So the people that making the decisions have to understand and get with us, so we could educate them on what we're doing. Yes, we want to make sure that the reef is not being overrun, that we have a product that people will come to and it will be there for grandchildren or great grandchildren, right? But if we don't have this communication with one another, then we would just be doing things each different set of people doing the thing on their own, which is how it is now.
Right. And finally, Mr. Pitt, can you tell us, is there anything that you want to tell us before we round up our discussion?
Yeah, well, I'd like to also elaborate on the point that Mr. Elliott said, is when it comes to safety. We made several recommendations to the Division of Tourism about our input, how we can work together to provide the public confidence that the book reef is actually safe. Because Mr. Elliott rightfully said that we don't have the international arrivals as much that depleted. So what we have now is the local, the domestic tourism. And there's a big fear factor when it comes to water, right? And we try to promote now the snorkeling part, because we have a lot of people come from Trinidad, they more focus on the nylon pool because they feel safe there. But we want to encourage them to do the snorkeling. But in order to do that, we got our data that most of the feedbacks we receive from the clients from Trinidad is that if something do happen, something do go wrong, what are in place, when it comes to safety, right? Because we are out there on our own. For example, fisheries, they don't have a boat. And if they do have a boat, their presence is not on a daily basis. The lifeguards, I think in Pigeon Point, they have one jet ski, right? The tourism have no boat. NEMA, as much as people talk about NEMA have no boat. TEMA or whoever they are, they have no boat. The ambulance, they have no boat. The fire service, the police, none of them have any boat when coming to making the book reef experience the safest place in the planet. We don't have that. So if something do happen, God forbid, we have no emergency services out there to assist us. We even make recommendations that you would like to have a ambulance place in Pigeon Point.
Right.
Because the book reef experience have the most sea goers or most bathers, most attentive throughout the year. And we want to have the emergency services, like when coming to water, right, we're talking about a couple minutes where life and death depends on. So we want to improve on that. And the next thing too, people don't know the headache that boatmen have. When we finish work in the afternoon, or the end of the day, we put our boats there, and we go back home and just on faith that tomorrow when you come, everything is okay. And now, if you look at, there's a lot of theft when coming to boat engines, right? And we address the Department of Tourism. We made suggestions what we can do. We can work together. You put cameras. We talk about putting a light, and nothing is being heard of.
Understood.
We haven't got no response back from them. And we would like to have a sit-down meeting with the Chief Secretary, because before where we are now, we had a meeting with from fisheries.
Fisheries, we always have meeting with fisheries, and with the Pigeon Point board. We have numerous meetings with fisheries, with the Pigeon Point board, with Coast Guard, so we have numerous meetings about what we're talking about now, safety, and making sure that we have a product that everybody's happy with, right? So as we are saying, we haven't gotten any response positive, right? So the boatmen are basically on their own, right? So we do the reef tours and the boat business on our own with no help, no support. So all we're saying is, give us the support that we need. If we're not getting the support, then give us the facility so that we could do it, and make sure it's done the proper way. As Mr. Pitt just said, we have been recommended that there's lifeguards out on the reef. That should be basic, right? There's the fisheries guys that's supposed to be out there patrolling, reef patrol we call it. They're not around. That should be basic. That should be an everyday thing. That's for safety, right? The lifeguards had a small boat that they had in the beginning that disappeared. They have jet skis. We used to see it out there. Now it's no more. Now and again we'll see that. If there's some important person come around, then we would see we would see fisheries out there, we would see the Coast Guard out there, we would see the lifeguard out there, right? That's for one important person and their family. So what happened to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago that goes out to the reef that want that same kind of protection? So we're saying it's only right and fair that we come together and we figure this out and make the product the best thing it could be for the boatmen, for Trinidad and Tobago, for the THA, for the people at Pigeon Point, right? So everybody would say, well,
right,
thank you, we have a great product selling.
Right. And well, I look forward to hearing the follow-up and possibly having meetings with the secretary and assistant secretary, possibly the chief secretary. We want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning and giving us a greater understanding of the plight of the reef tour operators in the Pigeon Point, Store Bay and Buku Reef area. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. All that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.